That's your best champion. Why would
115,
you
113. Should have been a draw.
Never. Man, you disrespectful.
You robbed him in Scotland.
You disrespectful.
You robbed him in Scotland.
I robbed him. Yeah. I don't see no blood going down my jaw. And I got your money in my pocket.
But, and I think he could have beaten so many more fighters, but his stardom come at the back end of his career. But ability-wise, one of the greatest of all times. Resume-wise, not one of the greatest of all times.
When you say prove, question is prove to who? Because if I can prove to my 500, 1 million, 2 million, 4 million followers, as long as they believe that I'm a GOAT and that I'm him and that I've done enough and everybody's ducking me, that's enough. That's the validation that helps cats sleep good at night.
Yeah.
Boxing fans, things just got explosive. Eddie Hearn has fired a shocking salvo at Terence Crawford, claiming he ain't a GOAT and tearing into his career like never before. In a recent interview, Eddie Hearn made a claim that's sure to ruffle Crawford's fans. He stated that he doesn't consider Terence Crawford one of the greatest of all time. Breaking down Crawford's past fights, Hearn argued that Crawford has yet to face a true pound-for-pound elite and has mostly gone up against opponents who weren't considered #1 contenders.
I don't think he's Mount Rushmore, but I think the reason that I don't is because I don't think his resume is strong enough. Now, ability-wise, I think he may be on the Mount Rushmore, but I just feel like if you look at his wins, you know, I always joke with him and say, tell me your best wins. This is pre-Canelo, right? And he says, my best win is Ricky Burns, right? It's my fighter, great fighter. But Ricky wasn't a pound-for-pound great. I mean, he was one of the greatest Scottish fighters of all time. He's a 3-division world champion. But at the same time, like, I think that because of Terence's ability, he missed out on a lot of those big names.
Eddie Hearn believes that while Terence Crawford may be considered highly skilled, the way he ended his career suggests he wasn't able to maintain the same level of dominance he once had. Looking at his past fights, Hearn points out that opponents like Spence and Canelo were near the end of their careers when Crawford faced them, and he hasn't fought many of the top-tier names who have since reached peak status. In Hearn's view, Crawford might be regarded as a great in terms of ability, but his resume lacks enough elite victories to truly crown him the GOAT of all time.
He beat Spence. Spence was at the back end of his career. He beat Canelo. Dare I say, Canelo's at the back end of his career. They're amazing wins. And he beat everyone that was put in front of him. But, and I think he could have beaten so many more fighters, but his stardom come at the back end of his career. But ability-wise, one of the greatest of all times. Resume-wise, not one of the greatest of all times.
Adding fuel to the controversy, Eddie Hearn delivers one of his most provocative takes yet, directly questioning Crawford's legacy. He argues that Crawford's decision to retire is influenced by a fear of being beaten as time goes on, suggesting that this has played a major role in his exit. Hearn also claims that many outsiders don't see the real maneuvers happening behind the scenes. According to him, negotiations between Crawford and Turki Al-Sheikh might actually be aimed at keeping Bud active in boxing rather than allowing a full retirement, hinting that the story isn't over yet.
Yeah, but you never know. I mean, you never know the background to these things, you know. Is it part of a wider negotiation? That's just me knowing the game. Are there lingering injuries, which might be more likely, you know, where every camp, what's he, 38 years old, 39? Like every camp gets very, very hard. For the boxing world and even for fight fans, it's not frustrating because it's his decision, but he's now reached that superstar status. You kind of want him to keep going, and it wasn't like his performance against Canelo showed signs of aging or anything like that, but he's also made a lot of money. What a time to bow out on top. You know, a lot of fighters have one too many. So maybe he feels like the way my body is, maybe I'll get beat.
Taking things even further, Eddie Hearn has sparked more outrage by accusing Crawford of running away from challenges. He boldly claims that Crawford will regret avoiding a fight with Jaron Boot Ennis, suggesting he's dodging a worthy opponent out of fear of being beaten at this point in his career. Hearn's remarks add another layer of controversy, intensifying an already heated debate surrounding Crawford's retirement and legacy.
And I don't need to get beat. I've got everything I've got. Or maybe he had a contract to fight someone else, but if he retires, he's not in that contract anymore, or it will give him greater leverage to negotiate a deal. That's just me being devious, which is part of my job. But it all depends on his body. I mean, that, you know, I wasn't being facetious before, but like, you never know the landscape of this, but more likely he's thought this is a good time to bow out, or got a few niggles and I don't think I should fight anymore. But you know, if physically he's able, he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. So his IQ's on another level, but what is there to do? Like, he's not going to want to go and fight, I don't know, Jaron Ennis. Like, he's going to look at that and go, well, I'm going to fight a 28-year-old coming through, I'm giving you my legacy.
In another heated exchange, Eddie Hearn confronted Terence Crawford over what he considered a weaker resume. When Crawford defended his record by citing his win over Ricky Burns, Hearn fired back, claiming that victory was questionable and that Burns was essentially robbed. The tension escalated as Hearn reminded Crawford about paying sanctioning fees, prompting Crawford to defiantly challenge him to enforce it if he can. This verbal sparring added yet another layer of drama to an already explosive confrontation.
I'm probably still better than you at hooping as well, but I'm definitely
You ain't better than me in nothing.
Darts.
And talking, that's it.
Talking?
You talk a good game. You ain't better than me in nothing.
Darts.
Nothing.
Darts.
Nothing.
Darts.
Today.
You're very nervous today. I don't know what's
What?
wrong with you.
I've been here.
Your energy's all off.
I've been here.
I'm worried about you on Saturday.
Last
Seriously.
time I
don't
recall-
think you're taking this fight right.
I'm 3-0 against you, sir.
That doesn't matter. Against Ricky Burns, you're 135 pounds. Who was
That's
the
your
other one?
best champion.
Dongo?
That's your best champion.
That was your hardest fight.
That's your best
That
champion.
was your hardest fight.
Why
Guess
would
what?
you disrespect your
gonna
best
be,
champion?
This is going to be your hardest fight, Saturday.
That's your best champion.
Yeah,
Why would
115,
you disrespect
113.
Should have been a draw.
Never. Man, you
You
disrespectful.
robbed him in Scotland.
You disrespectful.
You robbed him in Scotland.
I robbed him. I don't see no blood going down my jaw. And I got your money in my pocket.
Immediately following Terence Crawford's retirement announcement, the boxing world erupted with divided opinions. While some fans praised the decision, others outright rejected it, Ryan Garcia among the skeptics. In a recent video, Garcia criticized Crawford's move, labeling it a Mayweather-style stunt and suggesting that the champ is using the retirement claim to keep fans guessing, hinting at a potential comeback later in his career.
What did you think about Crawford retiring?
That sucks, man. He's a great fighter. It was smart though.
Do you think that's right? They try to make him pay for
I
his
don't
belt?
think I don't think he's really retiring though. That's the thing. No, he's doing the Mayweather thing.
Oh.
I'm retiring. I'm coming back.
Got it. He'll be back.
He'll be back.
Terence "Bud" Crawford's retirement took many by surprise, but not Sean Porter. Speaking to TMZ Sports, Porter revealed that Crawford had been hinting at hanging up the gloves for a long time. He emphasized that this decision wasn't a reaction driven by emotion, but a calculated move. According to Porter, Crawford had been planning it for months and, following his fight with Canelo, felt he had nothing left to prove in the sport.
This, I believe, was big news to everyone. When I saw it, it was just beautiful to see. But he and I had been speaking. I knew that, he was pretty much like, hey, man, I'm at the end, couple more and I'm done, that kind of conversation. And we were probably having that conversation before he and I even fought. So, it just goes to show, like, when you see a fighter retire, especially the way that he did, the way that I did it, like, it's very calculated. We aren't just, out of emotion or out of, there's nothing else that I can do. Like, he literally was very calculated with what he wanted to do. And I knew that once he had fought Canelo, he felt like there was nothing left for him.
Sean Porter revealed a recent conversation with Terence Crawford amid all the comeback rumors, making it clear that Crawford has no plans to return. He confirmed that Crawford had already informed him of his retirement, and while Porter gave him time to reflect and process the decision, it came as no surprise. According to Porter, the timing of Crawford's announcement could not have been clearer, leaving no doubt that this retirement is final.
I don't believe it's secretive, but I certainly believe in respecting someone's space. Do what you want to do, however you want to do it. And so I've never, again, like, this is my first time saying, I've never told anyone that, this is something that he's been thinking about doing for a long time, wanting to do for a long time. But he knew that he had a little bit more to do. Obviously me retiring in 2021, I knew when I was done. But yeah, this is me always wanting to give him his space and be respectful to him. Funny thing, we were on the line on Monday, and then this comes out on Tuesday. Like, man, I was just talking to you. Well, you could have said something, So, but regardless, man, I love the way that came out, and I think it couldn't have been any better.
However, not everyone buys into Crawford's retirement. Shannon Sharp, Chad Ochocinco Johnson, and Joe Johnson dismissed it as a stunt, claiming it's more about strategy and financial leverage than actually leaving boxing. They suggest Crawford is using the move to pressure the WBC and set himself up for a massive comeback. According to them, Bud isn't truly done, he's simply positioning for a high-profile return that could elevate his legacy even further. The trio predicts he'll step back into the ring by the end of 2026, likely negotiating a huge payday for what could be one of the sport's most anticipated comebacks.
and say they're not coming back, and they come back depending on the fight. When he does come back and comes out of retirement, it's going to be a mega fight. Many fighters always retire, hang up the gloves, and say that they're done. Terence Bud Crawford is not done fighting.
Make the price go up, Ocho.
He's not done fighting.
Make the price go up. Give me a number to make me come out of retirement.
Yep.
Come on now you're talking.
He done turned his value up.
Hey, it's all the way up. He's the A side too at that. Not only is he the A side, he can command 100 million and up based on his last fight.
But I don't know. But
that's what he's done. So he's not going to be retired. He'll fight sometime in 2026. And when he fights in 2026, it'll probably be somewhere towards the end of the year.
Pushing the narrative for Crawford's potential return, Shannon Sharpe insists that Canelo is the perfect opponent for his comeback, pointing out that Canelo has already called for a rematch in September 2026. Chad Ochochinco Johnson echoes this, suggesting Crawford is aiming to generate even more hype and momentum than Canelo. They add that if a rematch is part of Crawford's return, only Turki Al-Sheikh has the influence to make it happen. Coupled with Turki's recent posts and Eddie Hearn's remarks, speculation over Crawford's next move is reaching an all-time high.
Canelo said that he wanted to fight in September. The question is, I don't know who else he can fight to command that kind of payday. Because, look, nobody draws eyes like Canelo. The question is, because he's not going to take, look, Canelo got what he got, deservedly so, based on everything he's done. But based on everything that I've done, and I beat Canelo's ass, now I need to be in Canelo's shoes I need to be where Canelo was when I took the fight.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's going to be regardless. That's what it's going to be. And the person that's going to make that fight is going to have Turki.
It's got to be
Turki Ali. He's going to be the one to make it, and Turki understands that, as well as the way business goes and the way boxing goes.
Chad Ochochinco Johnson fuels the speculation around Crawford's comeback, claiming negotiations are quietly underway. He suggests Crawford is targeting a payday near $100 million, potentially setting up the blockbuster bout fans have been waiting for against Jaron "Boot" Ennis. On the other hand, Shannon Sharpe doubts Crawford will face Ennis, insisting that the only fitting matchup for his return is a rematch with Canelo, who commands far greater star power and prestige, making him the ideal opponent to cement Crawford's legacy.
Once you beat the A side, you become the A side.
Right.
So when that fight does happen, if it is Canelo, or maybe he gives us the fight we all been waiting to see, is him and Jaron Ennis, and he gets he takes. I mean, listen, it's high risk, low reward in a sense.
I don't believe that's $100 million fight for Bud.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because the risk that he's willing to take.
But ain't nobody clamoring to see Boots Ennis.
Everybody is clamoring to see Boots and Bud fight on. Trust me.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn's remarks have sparked debate over whether the promoter is truly making a fair claim. Responding to the controversy, Andre Ward defended Crawford, shutting down the critique about who the real GOAT is. Ward called Crawford one of the greatest of his generation and criticized Hearn for making such statements. According to Ward, only Crawford's fans have the right to declare him the greatest, as they've been entertained and impressed by his dominant and brutal performances in the ring.
I've never seen nothing like this in the sport of boxing. If you see responses from fans, they don't even argue who's better anymore. They're arguing who's the A side and who's not. Who's a draw and who. Y'all don't know a left hook from a fish hook, and you talking about who's the draw and who's the A side. That's the point that I'm making. It's not about proving. When you say young fighters don't want to prove, and there's still a few out there, and I think the Terence Crawfords of the world, I think he's one of the last of a dying breed. When you say prove, question is prove to who? Because if I can prove to my 500, 1 million, 2 million, 4 million followers, as long as they believe that I'm a GOAT and that I'm him.
Andre Ward asserts that only Crawford's true fans and close peers who understand his pure boxing skills have the authority to judge his greatness. Critics like Eddie Hearn, who claim Crawford isn't a GOAT and accuse him of dodging fighters like Jaron "Boot" Ennis, hold no real weight in his view. Ward emphasizes that Crawford's legacy and resume are beyond question and should not be undermined by someone like Hearn, who has never stepped into Bud Crawford's shoes or faced the challenges he has in the ring.
And that I've done enough and everybody's ducking me. That's enough. That's the validation that helps cats sleep good at night.
Yeah.
The validation that yourself, myself, and other people was after was, number one, me. I gotta feel comfortable living with me. I gotta walk around and live with myself and be like, bruh, are you really him? Then it's my people, my coach, my goddaddy, my circle. I gotta look my kids in the face and I want them to know that my daddy the best fighter in the world. The real answer is, what do your peers say about you? How do they feel about you? Because most of the time, unless there's some personal stuff going on, a fighter gonna keep it 100. Yep. Fans can say what they want to say. You didn't fight nobody. A fighter will come in and say, you tripping. He fought this guy, that guy, this guy, this guy.
Stressing the point that Eddie Hearn's claims are completely baseless, Andre Ward highlights how easy it is to make bold statements on social media. In reality, any true fighter and boxing fan who watches the sport knows Crawford's greatness. Ward points out that Crawford's fans fully recognize his elite ability, skill, and performances, backed by a resume that proves he is undeniably one of the greatest of all time.
The validation is from the fan base. The validation is from your followers. As long as they feel like you the guy, that's enough. So we're not even on an even playing field right now when we start talking about proving something to somebody, because the proving is social, YouTube, my platform is not the world anymore.
In a fiery response to Crawford's retirement, legendary trainer and father of Jaron Boot Ennis, Bozy Ennis, steps into the conversation. Bozy doesn't hold back, calling out the critics, doubters, and haters who have questioned Crawford's legacy. He delivers a powerful message, making it clear that no outside opinion can diminish Bud's achievements in the ring. They can hate all they want. According to Bozy, Crawford's skill, dominance, and impact on boxing speak for themselves, and anyone trying to downplay his career simply doesn't understand the magnitude of what he has accomplished.
He should be remembered as one of the greatest of all times, right? Look what he won, man. In all them different weights, man. Who did that? Who you know did that?
Only person I know 3-division undisputed, but it wasn't 4 belts.
Right,
was your man Henry Armstrong.
But that's what I'm saying.
That was it, but yeah.
And look how far that was way back then.
Right.
It's a new era, man. He set the tone, man. You know what I mean? He's the man now.
Shutting down Eddie Hearn's critique, Bozy Ennis makes it clear that Terence Crawford belongs in the conversation as one of the greatest of all time. He reflects on Crawford's remarkable achievements, noting how he accomplished what few fighters could, dominating multiple weight classes, winning belts, and never taking a real beating in any fight. For Bozy, these feats alone highlight Crawford's place among boxing's elite. He fully supports Crawford's decision to retire on his own terms and insists the world should never question his resume or legacy, emphasizing that Bud's career speaks volumes about his greatness.
Do you think this is like the new blueprint to boxing, is fighters getting out before all the wear and tear?
I think this way. I think they should get out before they take a lot of punches, man. And go out like punch drunk, whatever. You know what I mean? Take it to me and can't even talk right, can't even speak right. You know what I mean? I think it's the right time. And then you gotta look at it. Terence been in a lot of fights, right? But he never took a beating. That's how long he lasts in the game, man. He never took a beating. You know what I mean? And he good at what he do, man. You know what I mean?
As the dust settles on Terence Crawford's retirement drama, one thing is clear. Eddie Hearn's criticism, the WBC stripping, and the fiery reactions from fans and boxing pros alike have only cemented Bud's legacy as one of the sport's all-time greats. From Bozy Ennis defending Crawford's achievements to Andre Ward shutting down the haters, the debate shows just how much respect Crawford commands inside the ring. Fight fans, what do you think? Was Crawford treated fairly, or is the outrage overblown? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Ring Rivalry for all the latest boxing updates.